Hello, everybody. All right, so let's try that again. I'm sorry, I should have probably waited until after I started the show. What did you do today, Rick?
Not much. Did watch a couple videos. I went to saw my employment counselor. Since I got my resume done and a couple other things. So I just need to talk to her, see what the next steps were. Started on that. Took in a resume workshop to be able to target your resume. To a company or whatever, or position or whatever.
Mhm.
So that was good. Stuff that'll help me hopefully get a job in the next couple weeks. And yourself?
All right, basically just as I said, got some stuff done. Got up a little later than I wanted to, but went and got a little more on hand cash. Of course, Mondays are got our got the trash containers out for tomorrow, basically. Um, tomorrow is our trash. The day that the trash guys come pick up.
Tuesday they pick up the trash.
Yeah. Um, you know, went and
Tuesday, it's a
got.
neighbor. Tuesday is the day your neighborhood gets trash.
Funny, funny, funny. Anyways, yeah, and then of course, watched some stuff online, got caught up on my subscriptions, got the show prepared, and a little bit of everything. Um, so
Yeah,
with that, all right. So for those in the chat, of course, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, to see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here, anything we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. Um, so Rick, you want to do an intro? Tell everybody who you are, share any links, etc., etc.
well, okay. Well, I'm Rick Piper of Cross Comics, as my little ticker thing there says. And yeah, I create comics. I've got a YouTube channel. Do a bunch of different things on that. Usually pertaining to my comic books that I'm putting out, characters. And of course, I just made another video today, so I will put that in the chat as soon as I can get it to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's switch this to live chat. So, did there's the link
All
to my
right, so
latest
there's
video.
everybody. If you want to go check that out, there it is. All right, and of course you have your little chill stream tomorrow night too, right? 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right. Anything more you'd like to say, Rick?
Not at this time. Well, hopefully something comes up in the chat. Uh, we got
All right.
okay. It didn't go good. I'm just
What was that?
having some. My computer's giving me some minor tech. My computer's giving me some minor technical difficulties.
Hmm.
There, okay.
Yeah. Oops. Well, I guess we lost Rick for a moment there, so we'll just wait to see when he comes back. So I guess I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. So I've got a couple articles we're going to go through tonight. Um, one about, and one obviously an opinion piece from Bobby Green. Both articles are from Bleeding Fool. One is an opinion piece from Avi Green about some sloppy coverage. I guess let's see what was it he said. Some sloppy reporting on the history of black comic book characters. Do that one, and then we'll follow that up with black sales star Luke Arnold launches his own graphic novel. I believe what I read earlier in some of the previews there. Black Sails, I think, was a cartoon series or something like that. Or that this guy Luke Arnold was a part of. So, anyways, might have to restart my computer. Okay. Oh, hey Tim, there's Timothy Olsen, everybody. Not much. We're just about to get started here. Rick, I guess Rick's having some technical difficulties at the moment. If you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. And we'll try to get we'll try to get I'll try to answer we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability here. So with that, why don't we let's see. Maybe I will wait a minute or so, see if Rick. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and start, and then I'll just keep my eye out for Rick for when he returns. I guess I'll just start on the articles now. Well, we can start getting through them a bit here. Just keep my eyes open for him when we. All right. Um, all right. So let's see. Okay. Some sloppy reporting on the history of black comic book characters. Article by Avi Green, published March 26th, which is this past Friday, 2024. There you see a bunch. Oh, there's John Stewart from the Justice League animated series. I think you got a couple of versions of Black Lightning there. Right, so Level has a history article about black characters seen in past comics and how they evolved, which unfortunately lacks certain objectivity in its approach. Specifically, how it references the PC changes like race swapping made in the past decade or so. And that was Avi speaking. So now getting into the article that he's referencing here. Let's see. All right, and then I guess here are some links that Tim has shared. Guess you might want to go check those out. I think those are from his from his comic. If you guys want to go check those out, there you go. Hopefully Rick will be back with us soon. He said he had to restart his. I guess he's having some technical issues. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue on. So after Timely Comics came Atlas Comics in the 1950s. Atlas gave us the African tribal chief Waku, Prince of the Bantu. One of four stories in each volume of Jungle Tales. September 1954, September 1955. Marvel's first black supporting character was Gabe Jones in Sergeant Fury in the Howling Commandos #1. That was when Nick Fury was white. He still had an eye patch. Though he had his moments, Gabe was far less a stereotype than whitewashed Jones. In time, Gabe appeared on screen in Captain America the First Avenger in 2011. He was a graduate of Howard University and spoke fluent German, which allowed him to decipher instructions on Nazi tanks. He was still a mere private despite his college degree. Well, not necessarily an officer, I guess. Oh, all right. Hey, Rick, you back?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
Sorry
all right.
about that. My computer
All
just
right,
decided to be a
so
pain in my butt.
yeah, well, I know the feeling. Sometimes mine will do that too. Sometimes it's at the most inopportune times, though. And you notice Tim is here with us tonight. Did you see that, Rick? Can you hear me, Rick?
And hello, Tim.
Hmm. Am I coming on a delay or something like that, Rick?
Okay. Oh, did you? My computer did its stupid thing.
Oh,
The net here.
yeah.
I might get delayed or whatever.
No, it's Rick's.
So,
He
what
is
is
a
the
little
article we're
off.
reading exactly?
Oh, some sloppy history, a sloppy reporting on black comic book characters. The first one I
Well,
missed.
that's true.
Some sloppy reporting on the history of black comic book characters. So, let's see. All right. There are many characters I missed. Lothar was among the first black characters to appear in the Mandrake the Magician comic strip. The Falcon first appeared in Captain America in 1969 and substituted for the real Cap several times. To the chagrin of many, Sam Wilson has picked up the shield of Captain America, and a black man will star as Captain America in Captain America Brave New World, which is due out in February 2025. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has given the world a black Heimdall and several other black Asgardians. Both Sue and Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four have been portrayed as by black actors Jessica Alba and Michael B. Jordan. Sounds like somebody doesn't have much love for Steve Rogers and accepted Sam taking up the shield unquestioned.
Jessica Alba is black. She doesn't seem black to me.
I'm a little surprised too because I know she had that TV show back. I don't know what was it, in the '90s, early 2000s, or something like that. I never thought of her as black either, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to the article.
No, yeah,
Um,
they did
oh, go
do the
ahead.
Johnny Storm one, which, my net.
All right. Sounds like somebody doesn't have much love for Steve Rogers and accepted Sam taking up the shield unquestioned, even if it all came at Steve's expense, which it tragically did. If it's
I'll
really,
just
go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick. You started
Oh,
saying
I was just
something there.
gonna say, go on reading. Hopefully, I won't interrupt
Hmm.
too much when you're past the point.
Uh, you're kind of choppy there right now, Rick.
I hate this net right now.
Hmm. Anyways, let's see. Where were we? Which it tragically did. If it's really such a big deal, Sam became Cap. This despite how Steve, unlike Sam, didn't have built-in flying equipment. Um, so be it. Um, but why must Steve's background be de facto retconned so that he's more of a Nazi than a USA patriot?
Okay, can we
And why must Sam be exploited as a
stop
supporter for illegal
for a minute?
immigration in stories so noticeably forced? Were you about to say something there, Rick? Oh, I guess he he left again. I guess the internet up there where he's at is not doing. Oh, oh well. Let's see. Is Sam Falcon? I think they said Sam. I don't know anymore. All right, Rick, you're back.
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, continue with the article here,
Yeah.
and it's go ahead, Rick. You sound like you started to say something there as I was about to read. So
Yes, Sam is. If you, I'm not sure whether you addressed it, but Sam is Falcon.
yeah, I saw that and highlighted it. I believe he is,
Okay,
but
so I'm gonna,
what?
yeah, he is.
Uh,
Sam is Falcon in the comics, in the movies. Well, actually, now he's Captain America in the movies.
uh, as noted here in the article.
Well, not the movies, but the TV shows.
My point: he can't be himself. He has to take a white persona. Hmm.
Well, as long as they do it good, I don't mind. Captain America is a mantle, so passing it on to somebody. Also, in the comics, they did say that I'm not sure whether it was before or after Steve Rogers. They did experiments, and there was a black Captain America before that. Well, maybe not Captain America, but somebody who had gotten the super soldier serum. I'm not sure
Hmm.
whether it was before Steve or after. Um, it's there's a mini series, Truth, Justice, and something, or Red, White, and Black, or something like that. I forget what it's called. So
Well, I also
the
remember
fact
in
that
the.
Steve,
Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, Rick.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say I remember
No,
from the
you go ahead. I
'90s.
forget what I was going to say now.
I remember from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon. I remember they had kind of delved into that a little bit of other people taking the super and it not having as good an effect on as it did with Captain America or um, it was the Six Forgotten Warriors story arc in the '90s Spider-Man cartoon. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
I don't offhand, but I'm probably, I don't know, seeing a little bit of the episode or whatever might remind me.
yeah.
But you know, lots of characters have mantles that they pass down, or names,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word. Maybe it's not mantle. Some of it's mantle, some of it's names, or somebody takes up the name slash mantle. Sometimes it's not really a mantle that's been passed down. Just somebody else comes along and takes up the name, you know,
Mhm.
for whatever reason. It's been done in comics a lot. It's a trope. And, sometimes it works out good, sometimes it doesn't. You know,
Mhm. All
like
right.
I know in the comics when they did it a couple of years ago with Sam, it didn't go over all that well.
Mm.
Anyways, on with the article.
All right. Yeah, let's continue with the article here. And it's turning Nick Fury, Sue is Jessica Alba black. So somebody else even asked that. And Johnny Storm and Heimdall into black men and women. Really that big a deal? Point in the comics and even the movies of recent, this kind of stuff has not been merit based in terms of story writing, which lacks discussion in the essay. And the writer keeps up his contrived charade um, with the following, um, which becomes quite telling. What's wrong at the end? And then back to I think
Well,
Avi's
and
here.
although
Go ahead, Rick.
I'm not sure what
That was Avi.
the cover this, but Nick Fury Black, it is only done in the Ultimate Comics, which is a totally another universe
Hmm.
story. Say that some people that have a little something against it. Did
Mm-hmm.
you hear all that?
Some of it.
Well, I was just saying in
Sorry.
the comics, he was Fury was turned black in the Ultimate Universe
Yeah. Okay. I did
when they
hear a
first
lot
showed
of that.
him for
But you are
the
coming in a
movies.
little choppy there, Rick. Uh,
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll see whether I was just saying about Fury when they made him black per se. It wasn't as if they took the Fury from the normal universe. And of course, okay. I think I'm going to forgo my comment because this thing doesn't want to hear my comment.
yeah. All right. Oh, let's continue on here. And I think back to the article he's referencing. By now, we're used to seeing black heroes, villains, and even bystanders in comics and film. But remember, this wasn't always the case. I still remember when New York was all white, as were Paradise Island, Gotham City, and Metropolis. Introducing black characters has not come without resistance, especially when previously white character like Sergeant Fury or Sue Storm turned black. Um, I'm
Storm
gonna step
has
away.
not
I'm
been
gonna
turned
step away
black.
from the computer for. I'm gonna step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. So Rick, if you want to talk to everybody, I'll be right back.
Yeah, as best as I can. As I just said, Sue has not been turned black. Jessica Alba is not black. You might get away with Latino at best. As for Furious, if anybody could make out what I was saying earlier, it was that was in the Ultimate Universe. So, people were all right with it. It's a different universe, so people can be different things in different universes, I guess. Um, and well, I'm not sure about, when they first started with there was no, well, probably there wasn't a lot of black characters back then, at the beginning of um, Timely and maybe even by Marvel, time it had become Marvel, but um, it is what it is, people drew what they knew, and maybe unfortunately most people knew just probably mainly white people around them. Not that there probably there wouldn't have been any black people back then in New York, but a majority of it was New York. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too stupid not to realize that there was more around than what we think in New York in you know the 1930s or you know the 1960s. Well, 60s there would have been more for sure, but I'm not sure about the 30s. I'm sure
Yeah.
there would have been some, but would have been
I
enough.
think in America, a lot of the black population in the 30s and maybe in the 40s was more in the South, in the southern part of the U.S., southeastern portion of the U.S.
It's hard to say. Well,
Not to
I'm
say
sure.
there weren't any blacks in like some of the more urban areas in like you know up north. It just what I think more of them were just in the southeast.
Yeah, well, or maybe North Central, because Detroit, you know, Portland. I think they're. I'm not sure about Portland for sure, but I know Detroit's known for being black and that for several decades. And also I don't, not having looked into it or researched it, I'm sure there was a fair number of blacks in the North because, a lot of blacks tried to escape to the North during the Civil War and all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them escaped right to Canada too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for me to say. I'm just not sure how true the guy's statement is. I guess is what I'm trying to convey.
All right, so let's get back.
I'd like to see more research stated to it. But
All right,
anyways,
let's get back. Let's get back to this article. So, despite the reluctance of some fanboys, comic books and films based on comics have become more representative of America and the world, which has to be a good thing. They are less stereotypical and often unique, like Mr. Glass in the Unbreakable film trilogy, which is not based on comics but offers a thorough deconstruction.
you missed everything while you were away, Tim. Just me going on a diatribe about some stuff about what the guy said and going into the makeup of the American citizenship and
Yeah.
how they were spread out throughout the 30s to 60s.
All right. So I don't read comics anymore, but I'm a buff of the films derived from them. I appreciate seeing characters that look like me, though they may have an extra ability or two. Now back to Avi here. Wow, he's no longer even a comic reader and apparently only cares about the movies. And while it's okay to appreciate having characters around that look like you, it's not only to belittle the white characters and replace them almost wholesale to get to that point. That Black Firestorm, introduced even before DC's identity crisis, took a horrific toll on morale, never got anywhere back in the day. Um, and has largely vanished since one can only wonder if the writer believes the character, whose name was Jason Rush, should be brought back without any consideration for the dignity of Ronnie Raymond as a character. I'd also point out that if Unbreakable was really so bent on deconstruction, isn't that dismaying?
Yeah. I would just say about his thing about characters that look like you. What does it matter whether the character looks like you? It's whether that you can relate to the character. And just because a character has your skin color or not doesn't mean whether you can relate to them. It's how they behave and stuff like that. You
Well,
know,
I
their
think the
attitude
argument they would
and
make
their
on
life
that, Rick,
story.
is I think the argument they would make on that, Rick, is well, if they look like them, therefore they are more likely to be able to relate to them.
Yeah, but that's not true because, you know, there's lots of white people, and most of my life does not see is not the exact same as every other white person out there.
Yeah,
You know,
it's kind of funny because I'm reminded of something that I've heard kind of over the years of it here. Some people have okay. So do you remember who Dusty Rhodes was, the wrestler?
uh, I remember him somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I've heard people describe him before, you know, as I think some people described, particularly when he did commentary, as sounding like a black grandmother.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny, how that, it's like, well, just in what we're talking about here, it's like Dusty was white, obviously, pretty tanned white, but he was white, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, it's really weird, like, and you talk about what characters look like. Well, a lot of people could probably relate to Nightcrawler, and the question is with Nightcrawler, he's blue. I don't see no blue people on this planet unless
yeah,
you're painting yourself blue.
yeah.
So, does that mean nobody could relate to Nightcrawler unless they were blue?
Hmm. Well, it is nice. Okay, so Timothy's saying, well, it is nice to freely chat. Um, just wish there were more people to chat with. Well, I agree there, Tim. I kind of
Yeah,
wish we could get more people in. The best we can do is we can, as I said, we can share the stream and hopefully people will come in and join us. Maybe after a while, we'll get some people in here to kind of chime in on stuff soon enough. Um, if you haven't already, of course, if you can share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That would be appreciated. Also, as always, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So,
and
getting back to go ahead, Rick.
I must admit, I like the costume that Falcon has more nowadays than the one in this picture.
Uh,
Although probably it was something of its time. So, you know,
yeah. Anyways,
we can
anyways,
go on with the article.
yeah. Well,
Hello,
speak. Huh?
Elk is
Oh,
here.
Elk is here. Hey, Elk. Well, look. There's somebody to talk to now. Mike, Rick, and Tim. Hey, Elk. Hopefully you're having a good time. Of course, if you can help us out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be great. Also, if anything here, oh, thank God, Elk. Oh boy. uh, or whatever you believe in. Laugh out loud. All right, let me also try one more thing here. Do a little extra here. See if I can hopefully put out some feelers here. Let's see. Just putting out some more feelers for. Maybe we might get some more people in here, but let's see. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the article here. Still with me, Rick?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. May Xenu bless us all in full measure this day. All right. So yeah, so there's the I guess the original Falcon costume right there. All right. So Avi's saying here, it's also monumentally offensive how the writer says fanboys are quote unquote reluctant when years before they welcomed Black Panther, Robbie Robertson, Misty Knight, Black Lightning, Storm, Vixen, and Luke Cage with open arms with no opposition. While they were even fine with introducing Monica Rambeau as a successor to Marvel of the Kree, taking up the Captain Marvel codename in 1982, all because Marvel wanted to retain use of the name, even if it kept DC from using it again for Billy Batson, whom they'd acquired along with a few other Fawcett characters in the Bronze Age. Yeah, back in the 52, I believe.
Yeah.
52, 53, around there. Despite what's claimed, quote unquote, representation, remains superficial at worst, and most of the black characters introduced as part of DC Marvel's woke directions don't seem to come from backgrounds like Cameroon heritage, or even the Central African Republic. DC's Black Lightning right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the use of this futile charade where we're lectured that fanboys supposedly don't want POC characters when past introductions that were far more plausible and organic prove otherwise? We accepted when Stan Lee did it, for example, because he'd written his creations originally back in the day. We
Organically.
organically back in the day. Um, we don't accept these new characters replacing white ones in the classic costumes because they, by contrast, don't stand on their own. And besides, it's all just caring about said costume, not the characters wearing them, who end up serving as political mouthpieces for the modern writer's repellent leftist politics. All this, of course, is precisely why Marvel DC products are collapsing today and have long become irrelevant in an age where contrived writing takes the place of plausible writing. Regrettably, these would-be commentators won't understand any of that. Well, what do you think of his conclusions there, Rick?
Probably pretty true. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, says what was that? There's a Central African character in DC. Car. Is the whole world crazy in the 60s? No, he's saying there isn't. They didn't come from there. You know.
Well, I
Because
think what he's saying is that some of the modern black characters that they're creating didn't come from there. Didn't come from places like what they're talking about.
yeah, all
Whereas,
except for I think all except for like Black Panther and those ones mentioned were all born and raised in the United States. I could be wrong about that, but you know, maybe they might have had African heritage, but they could have had Caribbean heritage. I'm not sure of those characters where their lineage would date back to, but
but in thinking about that too, it does kind of give me pause because it's like one of those things where you almost get the impression that maybe they focus on American born black characters to kind of push the whole narrative of, oh, white man bad, black man good, period. That's kind of the thing they're trying to go for there, I think, with some of the writing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he was more saying there aren't these characters aren't from Africa, which seems legit. Most people place most of their characters in their country of origin. Like I do it. Most of my main characters are from Canada. People creating ones in the States for DC and Marvel Comics. Most of theirs are in the States, which makes sense. You sort of write what you know, I guess you could say. Yes, they have a few characters that are from other countries or other places, like Doctor Doom is Octavia, which is over in Europe. Namor, who's from underwater. You know, Black Panther, who's from a country that is somewhere in Africa. We do have characters that come, and I know I mainly use Marvel, of course. We have characters from all different places, but the majority of them are from the country of origin of whatever person is creating the book, or country of origin of the book.
Okay, so the Central African Republic is a deep cut or dictator declared himself Bonapartist, Emperor of Africa, went nuts even more, was paid by French to leave.
Okay.
Then came back, declared himself emperor again, and was killed. All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the next article
Interesting.
here. This one, I don't see it taking quite as long, only because this is more of a kind of a release article, not as much opinion in it. But it's just something that unless of course. So, Black Sail star Luke Arnold launches his own graphic novel. Article by Avi Green, published earlier today. The Wrap announced that the TV actor Luke Arnold is producing his own comic book in another example of entertainers getting into the business. All right, so, and here's from the article that Avi is referencing here. Actor and writer Luke Arnold, who starred as Long John Silver on Starz series Black Sails, is launching his first graphic novel, Essentials, in quotes. The science fiction project will be the first from the Lab Press, a new upstart publisher looking to join the comic book world as the format continues to be a popular place for both storytelling and piloting ideas to launch into other medias, including TV and film. Quote unquote essentials was born out of impossible questions, unquote. Arnold said in a statement, quote, what matters most in a well-lived life is joy more valuable than truth? Does morality... Oh, go ahead, Rick.
I'm just answering the question. Joy is not more valuable than truth. No, it's not more valuable than truth. At least in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's see. Does morality give meaning to our existence? At what point do our perceptions become our reality? Unquote.
Well,
Arnold, go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say, does morality give our life? What was that? Meaning? A little bit, yeah, for sure. At what point do our perceptions become reality? Or they become our reality? Well, depends on how you mean that question, really, I think. because your perceptions aren't necessarily reality, but you might believe them to be reality.
Not morality. Oh, you're right. Mortality. Mortality give meaning to existence. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
oh, that was probably me misspeaking, but I think I saw it as mortality and I was reading it. I'm not sure whether you read it differently or not. Anyways,
Arnold, who released his first novel in 2020, is co-writing the project with Emmy-nominated animation writer Chris Doc Wyatt um, of Marvel's Rocket and Groot, who also served as producer on Napoleon Dynamite, quote unquote. Publisher teased future graphic novels with other notable comic creators, including writer Cecil Castellucci, artist writer Gene Ha, and artist Jose Villarrubia, as well as artist and filmmaker Niharika Negi. All right, now before I continue, I need to go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back. Rick, if you want to chat with everybody for a moment.
yeah, little. Okay. So how's your day, night, whatever, elk? And Tim, are you still here, Tim, or have you stepped away again, Tim? Anybody watch my new video that I put up like 10 minutes before this started? Or something like that? Well, maybe half an hour. I think I might have got half an hour before. Although it's small. I gotta do 2 more videos. I gotta finish off my video for the 3D thing. Excellent. Did you like?
Hmm.
Well, you probably listened first. You were probably the first person to put a like, Calc.
Hmm. All right, well, I'm back now, so I guess we'll get back to the article here. Oh, songs
Stop
are getting better.
starting. Oh, I'm glad that you like that. The songs are.
All right, so creative executive Mike Zagari was announced as joining the Lab Press team earlier this week. Zagari, who will serve as chief creative officer and partner, has a long history of working in consumer products and developing intellectual property for use outside of comics. He's also self published his own comic books. Quote, it's no secret that the comics industry is in a period of tremendous transformative change, unquote, Zagari said in a statement, before promising that the new publisher, quote, is prepared to meet those challenges and opportunities head on. We're dedicated to publishing fearless storytelling and unique styles and perspectives, unquote. Quote, the change the industry's undergoing is one where Marvel and DC are becoming irrelevant, and so too is Archie. Based on their own path of wokeism, if there's a shift to focus on creator owned productions, that's great. But are these comics turned out by Hollywood performers really produced with the intention of merit based entertainment, or are they meant to serve the same purpose for which Keanu Reeves produced Berserker a few years ago? Um, there's telling signs in the above paragraphs. This new comic, Essentials, could end up going the same route from illustrated panel to screen in a very short amount of time, as we've seen when Reeves launched his graphic novel. And if that turns out to be the case, what's the point of this project?
Just to get some people to watch it. Elk says Prussian Shield needs a love theme. Prussian Shield needs a love theme for Snowdrift. Are you using Copilot? Huh? I'm not sure completely what you mean. Snowdrift Prussian Shield won't be Snowdrift's love interest. I already know her love interest. You see him in the first book.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure what you mean by CO pilot. That's co-pilot, I think, but I'm not
No,
sure.
I don't. No, it probably means something else. We just don't know what that means. Could he the two letters in cat?
And Elk believes that this opinion writers is all sorts of wrong.
Hmm.
And Timothy's not sure what. I think Timothy's saying he's not sure what Elk was talking about either.
All right. So, anyways, there's a valid query raised in the comics premiere. Is joy more valuable than truth? Well, no. But who's to know if many liberals understand that? And it'll remain to be seen if La Presse really means what they say when they talk about, quote, fearless and unique perspectives, unquote, because if they refuse to accept conservative writings, that'll only be telling as it's been for years now. All right, so we're done with that article.
These ones I made a few months ago or a couple months ago, Elk, and it was with using the one that Timothy's put down there in the chat, Suno. And yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't checked out the Copilot AI for making music yet, so I might do that in the future.
All right, we're at 52 minutes now, so I'm gonna do a quick wrestling wrap. There were a couple of interesting news items came out over the weekend here. One of them I heard about earlier today, and the other came out the other day. So Jake Roberts has recently re-signed for another year with AEW. Jake Roberts had been managing Lance Archer during his time in AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and also it was confirmed at the Impact tapings over the weekend on Friday and Saturday that the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, Al Shelley, as well as Kelly, their contracts were up with TNA. Their contracts up at the end of the month here on April 1st. So they were finishing out their contracts, and we'll probably be seeing them elsewhere soon enough. Let's see. I think he is using something called Suno. Rick, are you doing a chill stream this week? Yes, I am, Tim. Thank you.
I think he's thanking me for. God bless you, my Canadian friend.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to
considering what we've known happened recently, but we're not going to talk too much about that. But anyway, so those are, obviously WWE Rise tonight as they continue to work their way towards WrestleMania, not this weekend, but next weekend. So the first weekend of April here, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, have Ring of Honor will be having their Super Card of Honor event on Friday, the 5th. And then WE will, of course, have WrestleMania on the 6th and the 7th. We'll talk more about that, though, next week. So with that, why don't we start to wrap things up with today being Monday, Monday,
25th?
Monday, March 25th, 2024. So let's get ready to take a look back at this day. Nietzsche history. History! Oh.
It's Nietzsche and it's history. Yeah.
So first off, I'm going to head back 80 years ago today on this date back in 1944, 80 years ago today. The Warner Brothers short, um, the Warner Brothers short, The Weekly Reporter, premiered in theaters on this date back in 1944, directed by Chuck Jones, written by Michael Maltese, with music directed by Carl Stalling. The cartoon is a spoof of sacrifices made by those on the home front during World War II. Basically, what they're talking about was, of course, they were rationing a whole bunch of items, things like tires, like rubber, um, gas. You know,
But I must say, you gotta love the way they spelled weekly here.
yeah. Well, I think that was intentional. I don't think that was a spelling error. That was probably intentional. Let's see the plot here. The opening sequence is set to "My Country 'Tis of Thee" and shows the Statue of Liberty and the presidents of Mount Rushmore in wartime garbs, um, such as air raid wardens and civil defense
Oh,
personnel. And uncredited Frank Graham is the narrator. Rick, you were about to say something right there.
no, I was just hiccuping a little and trying to make
Okay.
it so keep my mouth closed so it didn't make too much noise.
All right. So anyway, so that happened 40 years ago today. So now let's get ready to move on. The next piece of niche history as we move ahead to, I believe it's 1998 will be our next stop here, which 1998 from which is 26 years ago, I believe. On this date back in 1998, 26 years ago today. Um, the 125th issue of Hellblazer from DC's Vertigo imprint is released on newsstands. Is released on newsstands on this date back in 1998. It was 23 pages, blowing on the embers, written by Paul Jenkins, with art by Warren Place. Clem Robbins did the lettering, and James Sinclair did the coloring. So there we go. So on this date, 26 years ago today, the 125th issue of Hellblazer from DC's Vertigo imprint went on sale on this date in 1998. Now let's see.
Cool. And Tim, remember that you said you're going to be on here tomorrow at 6. Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
probably 7 for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to remind him after we're finished with this, Rick. But thank you for that. So on this date in 2012, let's see here. Yes, sir. All right. Um,
But you're more than welcome to come on my show afterwards.
yeah. I sometimes will drop in to say hi to Rick after I'm done too. So, um, on this date back in 2012, which was 12 years ago today, um, the um, the Dongwoo animation anime Manichi Kasan finished its run on TV Tokyo on this date back in 2012. So 12 years ago today, the Dongwoo Animations Manichi Kasan finished its run on TV Tokyo in Japan. And finally, moving up to 5 years ago, moving up to 2019. On this date in 2019, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event in the TD Garden Arena, or TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. The event saw in the main event saw Drew McIntyre defeat Dean Ambrose in the Last Man Standing match. Kurt Angle defeated Samoa Joe. Let's see. Sasha Banks defeated Natalia by disqualification. Ricochet and Aleister Black defeated the Revival, now known as FTR in AEW, of Scott Dawson Dash Wilder. Finn Balor defeated Jinder Mahal and Bobby Lashley in a handicap match. And then and the show started off with 3 straight women's beat the clock matches in which Ronda Rousey defeated Sarah Logan in a minute 25. Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott, their match ended in no contest, and then Becky Lynch defeated Liv Morgan at 118. Oh, there we go with that one. And I thank everybody for being here tonight. Well, before we go, of course, Rick, did you want to do an outro before we head out? Before we wrap up?
Sure. Well, everybody, if you haven't, just go check out my my possible songs for, um, you know, it is interesting to listen to. I think the differences in the progression, the different music styles, where some have the same lyrics or maybe just slightly different. Um, yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm hoping to. I'm getting to the end of some of them, so I might be adding in doing some other characters. Maybe not quite as many for the other characters, but I've just got a lot, so I'm just making videos out of it, something to put up every day that's easy to put up.
Hmm.
So,
all right. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. We'll be back here again tomorrow night, and as of course Rick just mentioned, Timothy Olsen will be joining me as we'll be going over some of the niche topics of the day. Rick will be back here on Wednesday, and will be back with me on Friday as well. And Rick, I'll get you the. I know I haven't of late been sending you the reading material ahead of time like you had asked me before to do, but I'll try
yeah,
to get stuff to you
yeah,
this week.
it's nice in case I do want to go over, but unfortunately, I don't think I have one over it much since you gave it to me. But hey, it is
Yeah.
what it is, right?
So, anyways, and of course, Rick will be joining me this Fridays. We'll be looking at Popular Comics 1/1 issue 50, as well as the 5th issue of the 4-Color series from Dell. Be focusing on Dell. So we'll be reading more random stories at that point. Kind of a break from everything because not as much action adventure, some more humor stuff. So with that, I thank
Yeah.
everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.